Well, you're just getting down now today, aren't you? Are you wired?
Working off those record temperatures from a couple of days ago.
I guess so. Okay. With that, good morning and welcome to Nature Watch. Nature Watch is sponsored by Waddell's Nursery, Floral, Garden, and Bird Center at the corner of 12th Street and Millam Road. And now your host of Nature Watch, had this been yesterday, he could have blown in here.
Yes.
It's Gary Miller. Wow, was it windy yesterday. Oh.
Yeah, and actually, the Scott Larson posted this morning's temperatures were 25 degrees colder than yesterday morning at the same time.
We were at 58 at this time, or about 50,
so actually, I was laughing about
58
some of the posts that the Michigan Storm Chasers had yesterday. Yesterday morning, they posted, excluding the UP, unless you're brave, today, 1926, is one of those, quote, windows open in the morning, heat on in the evening, end quote, days. In other words, pure Michigan.
It's about right.
And then a little later, they posted another post that I thought was sort of humorous too. Your free trial to spring is complete. You will now be reverted back to winter until further notice.
Okay, and speaking of Michigan Storm Chasers, just a few moments ago, put out their last call snowfall outlook for this weekend. That's from now until 3 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. Around Kalamazoo, Grand Rapids, Battle Creek, we're looking at 1 to 3 inches, 2 to 6 closer to the lakeshore. But if you get north towards Ludington, up towards Traverse City, Gaylord, those areas could see 4 to 8. The Upper Peninsula, anywhere from 1 to 8 inches, depending on where you are.
And actually, they got some winter weather advisories up Muskegon North, basically along the lakeshore. And
right.
With the snow and maybe heavy in some locations, heavier than what they're predicting, and the winds, they're going to have a fun weekend.
Yeah,
fun being somewhat sarcastically said.
Right.
At least driving on it with a regular vehicle. Snowmobiles may be happy about it.
So get out and enjoy the weekend, pretty much. But just you might want to take a few extra minutes to get where you're going. Like I have to go to Battle Creek later today, so I'll judge the roads and take my time.
So with the warm temperature, we had record temperatures, and with as warm as it was, that snow and the ice on the lakes disappeared pretty fast. Mm-hmm. But the nice thing is because we've had that snow cover, most of that moisture and the snow didn't run off. It just sort of soaked into the ground, which is fantastic because didn't have much change in the drought monitor in the last week. A little improvement, but not much. But we'll see what it does this next week with that snow melt. It might be maybe a much more improved area. Hard to say because we always get that warm, little bit of thaw now at this time of year.
Right.
But winter is coming back. Okay. But it's still officially winter. We haven't actually been officially winter for a month even yet. So
yeah, it depends on if you're looking at it from a weather standpoint or from an astrological standpoint. Or astronomical, I should say. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. But it's weird. February has been very, very challenging over the last few years.
Yes, it has.
So that's something that we need to look at, not look forward to necessarily, but look at, and keep in mind there's this big chunk of extremely cold temperatures up in Alaska, interior Alaska, as a matter of fact, 50, 60 below.
Yeah, and it's been hanging there, and it just every once in a while a piece of it breaks off and comes our way. And
well, we might have a big chunk of it down the road, but that's just something to keep in mind.
I noticed, I was looking last night, northwestern Montana, they actually had some very high winds. That'll be coming our way, too, here at some point. So probably about Tuesday or so, we might see some more wind.
Why does that not surprise me?
But, you're right about the last several years. So, like, February is pretty warm. And then it becomes winter again
cold,
in March.
And very cold, too. Yeah. Well, it's been cold in February. It's bitter cold, too.
Well, we've had some years it's been warm, and then it gets cold in March again. So
we had fall the last few years until February 1. Yeah, or so it seems, anyway.
Be tuned to weather forecast near you.
There you go. Yeah, like I said, take your time this weekend. Just get out and do stuff. Just remember you might encounter a snowy road or two.
Yeah, so I actually want to do a little correction here from last week.
Uh-oh.
And I want to thank Dennis. He emailed me and actually corrected me. I misspoke last week about the Kellogg Bird Sanctuary.
Oh, okay.
And I thought it was valid. I was going to talk a little more about it today. So the bird sanctuary was founded by W.K. Will Keith Kellogg, who was the younger brother of Dr. John Harvey Kellogg, who ran the sanitarium in Battle Creek. And Will was also the founder of the cereal company, while Dr. Kellogg, his brother, was really more interested in the operation of the sanitarium. And so there's ties to both of them because W.K. worked for his older brother, John. And he got his interest in waterfowl in 1900 when he attended a lecture on game birds given at his brother's sanitarium in Battle Creek. So they got links there all the way. And if you remember, I was talking about, he purchased that property in 1927 around Wintergreen Lake, and fencing off about 180 acres that eventually became the bird sanctuary. Eventually it was given to Michigan State University. And we remember last week we were talking about the giant Canada goose as far as they're almost extinct. 62, they were discovered a flock. They thought they were extinct before. So in February of 1965, the Kellogg Bird Sanctuary hosted its first Canada goose ecology seminar. So only 3 years later, with the intention of advancing goose management practices in the Great Lakes area. The Kellogg flock provided original stock for satellite flocks of nesting free-flying Canada geese and collaborated with interested universities and organizations. These releases and others made by the sanctuary throughout the 1960s were supplemented by releases made by Michigan's Department of Natural Resources. So we had that big tie with the bird sanctuary. So thank you, Dennis, for bringing that to my attention and correcting me and getting that clarified.
There you go.
Thank you for listening. I'm glad people pay attention,
Yeah.
I'll eat crow once in a while if I misspeak. So not a problem. And so it's a lot of things coming up this next week. Oh, my gosh. You got lots of events to talk about.
Okay, why don't we put a hold on that?
We're going to do a hold because actually I think this trivia question may take a little bit of time today. We'll see how much of it. I'm making people work this year, They had it easy for a bunch of months. The end of 2025, I gave them a lot of softball tosses out there.
Now you see, here's the problem, Gary. You're not only working them, you're working me. You really are. Okay, here's the drill. Apparently, this might take a little while. First correct caller to Gary's question will win a $20 gift card to Waddell's. That number is 269-382-4280. Don't text in your answer. I'll look at it and I'll just say, okay, you might be right, you might be wrong, but you can't text it in. You have to call.
No, we want to hear your voice.
That's right. Okay, so
So this might be a little bit of a challenge. We'll see how much people are paying attention. I say that, then usually when I say that, somebody comes up with the answer pretty easily. So if people have been paying attention, they probably will find this or maybe already know this. So in southwest Michigan just in this last week, 5 species of rare or uncommon waterfowl had confirmed sightings. Name one of the species. So you got a 1 in 5 chance, Again, name one of the 5 waterfowl species. So notice that, waterfowl, of rare or uncommon waterfowl that had confirmed sightings in Michigan.
269
in southwest Michigan.
269-382-4280. I was trying to get out of here by 9, but apparently Gary's going to
So it might give me some hints, actually, too. So the sightings were in Calhoun County, Kalamazoo County, St. Joseph County, and there were several sightings of each of these species. One of them I've mentioned the last several weeks of some of those rare bird sightings in southwest Michigan. So if you recall what I said in the last couple of weeks and we're paying attention with that. So that's one of them. I'll also give you another hint. 2 of them were seen in Gull Lake. Just saying. So
it's not helping me. Maybe it's helping. Maybe it's helping this person. Good morning, WKZO. Who's this?
Said in the last couple of weeks and paid attention to that.
Hello. Goodbye. But I heard you on delay, so they're streaming.
Hello.
They're gone.
They're gone.
They're gone. Repeat the question again.
Yeah, so in southwest Michigan this last week, 5 species of rare or uncommon waterfowl had confirmed sightings. Name one of those 5 species.
269-382-4280. There you go.
And
now you can start talking about some events because we might have to kill some time that way.
Yeah, I got lots of events coming up here. So this next week, I got a couple of Zoom connections you can do on Wednesday morning. Not My Species webinar, another one. The Eagle Department actually hosts that. And usually have experts from the DNR, and actually have Michael Hillary, one of the fisheries biologists from Michigan DNR, going to be talking about, in a stranglehold, can we prevent invasive mussels from muscling in on native populations? And they're just an hour long. You got to register ahead of time, so you get the link. They're neat because they have the experts in the state talking about these different things. Usually they're talking about, obviously, invasive species. And then the hour immediately after that, Kellogg Bird Sanctuary has one of their Birds and Coffee online chats. Again, so you don't have to travel anywhere except from your armchair to get another cup of coffee.
Oh, okay.
And so that's an hour long also, so just 2 hours long total. Lisa Duke's going to be talking about backyard birds.
Oh.
And so you don't have to go anywhere, sit in your comfortable chair, enjoy coffee, listen or connect via Zoom. Always fun to do both of those. I've actually quote unquote attended several of those webinars and online chats, and they're actually fun to see because they always get some neat information.
Okay.
And see what's going on. But you also have some experts talking about different things. So
Okay. We have quiet phones. So
everybody's frantically searching. Okay, where can we find this?
So
Actually, when we get to the answer, I'll tell you where I find it, because I actually have a little tab on my browser, so I can every week I check to see what rare birds are sighted in Southwest Michigan.
Well, we are still looking for a winner on our trivia question. We have a call coming in? Why don't you give me that question one more time?
Yep. So in Southwest Michigan this last week, 5 species of rare or uncommon waterfowl had confirmed sightings. Name one of those 5 species.
Okay. Good morning, WKZO. Who is this?
Hi, this is Gay.
Hey, Gay, can do me a favor and turn down the radio, okay?
Okay.
Yeah, that's a big help. Okay. There we go. Now we're cooking. All right. Gary, your question again.
Yep. So Southwest Michigan this last week, we had 5 species of rare or uncommon waterfowl with confirmed sightings. Name one of those 5 species.
And Gay, what is that?
Trumpeter swan?
Oh, that's a good guess, but that is not one of the 5.
Oh, wow.
So there were
Is that
trumpeter
the wrong
swans seen,
site?
but not any confirmed sightings, if I remember right on the list. So the list that I usually
AI lied
refer
to
to.
me.
Oh, my goodness. Okay, Gay, try again. 269-382-4280. I hate hanging up on people. I really do. But I had to.
But so the list always has all these sightings. People put in actually exact coordinates where they have seen these birds, and then there are people that review those and actually confirm. So there's usually lots of unconfirmed sightings, and it just they don't have time to go through all of them. But so it's always interesting to see what birds are seen, and I always look at to see what the rare ones are.
Let's try this again. Good morning, WKZO.
Hi.
Who is this?
Jim.
Is this Jim?
Yes.
Jim, meet Jim. Jim.
Nice to meet you guys.
Oh, he's Gary. Okay, what's your answer?
Was one of them a white-winged scoter?
That is correct. So that was one of them I talked about the last several weeks, the white-winged scoter. And actually, there were several sightings in the last several weeks here in Southwest Michigan, different areas and multiple locations. And if you look at the information on the white-winged scoter, and you look at their range map, they're sometimes migrating down in this part of the state of Michigan. They nest way up in basically western Canada up into Alaska, and usually spend most of their winters along the ocean coasts.
Oh.
Occasionally you have the Great Lakes and that, but then occasionally you get them inland lakes. So that's why we're seeing the white-winged scoter, and they've seen white-winged scoter for the last month now. And so that was the one I actually mentioned several times. Snow geese, and again, snow geese, we sometimes will get those coming through, migrating through. Again, usually they winter down along the Mississippi River Valley, farther south, and along the ocean front on the east and west coast. The cackling goose, and I'm going to talk about that a little bit. And the cackling goose is another one that is a very uncommon sighting here in the wintertime. And then the other one was the northern pintail, which, again, we get some migration through here, but their numbers are down tremendously. So we usually just get them migrating through. The one that really caught my eye and they had seen on Gull Lake was the long-tailed duck. And if you look at the photos of the long-tailed duck, you're like, oh, my gosh, that's a native bird here? Well, actually, it comes this way once in a while. Usually doesn't come this far south. in the winter time. It's usually farther north, migrating, and then goes to the ocean coasts and nests way up in northern Canada, up into the Arctic Circle, the extreme northern part of Alaska, and there's a little island way up off of Greenland that they nest on. So, and there's Baffin Island way up there that they nest on. So, they've got several areas that they're way north that they do this nesting, and occasionally they come down here, but they're a very showy bird.
Oh, okay. All right, hey Jim, I've got I have a $20 gift card for you, but I need some information from you. Can you hold on?
You bet.
Okay, thanks, Jim. Appreciate it.
When it comes to houseplants, can you ever have too many? Fill your home, office, or dorm room with beautiful plants from Waddell's Nursery Florist and Garden Center. Waddell's just received a fresh shipment, and this week they're all 20% off. Want plants that don't need to be watered very often? Get succulent plants. Want something that can grow in a poorly lit area? Try pothos plants. Are you looking for an easy care house plant? ZZ plants are sure to be some of your favorites. They're tough as nails, don't need much light, and are easy to grow. Check out the air plants ready to hang. They make a unique gift, no green thumb required. More beautiful choices include ruby red ficus, dracaena, 3 blooming colors of anthurium plants, and many more. This week only, get your houseplants on sale and purchase new pots for them, and Waddell's experts will repot them for free. Are you afraid your plants won't have enough light? Get the new Grow Kit from We the Wild that includes a plant light and organic plant growth concentrate. Waddell's is your local houseplant experts.
I like that it's local.
WKZO. More local news on the radio than any other station in town. And online, too, at WKZO.com.
8:53. We normally do this break at 8:43. But someone had some splaining to do.
Yeah.
Anyway, Jim in Vicksburg, our big winner, $20 gift card to Waddell's. Nature Watch continues with Gary Miller.
Yeah, so I was mentioning the cackling goose, and so a couple other rare birds that were confirmed sighting in southwest Michigan this last week. I mentioned this one the last couple of weeks, ruby crowned kinglet. That was confirmed in Calhoun, Hillsdale, and Kalamazoo counties. And the other one that was confirmed in Berrien County, and actually numerous confirmed sightings, was the Eurasian collared dove, which nests nowhere in North America. It's actually something over in Europe and Asia. And somehow, some birds are made it this way. So I know that earlier this last fall, they had seen some Eurasian collared doves, but so maybe there are some escapees from somewhere too. Who knows? But they're out there and out in the wild. So the cackling goose looks, if you look at it real quick, it looks like a Canada goose, but it's a lot different. There are 4 subspecies of cackling goose. They've got a shorter neck than the Canada goose. It's got a shorter, smaller bill, and it has a more rounded head than the Canada goose. Some of them are only slightly larger than a mallard duck. So their feathers their plumage looks very similar to Canada goose, but some of them have a more prominent white neck collar. And the 4 subspecies, Richardson's, Taverners, Minima, and Aleutian. Richardson's is the subspecies that we typically see here in Michigan. The Aleutian one, by name, obviously, sort of makes it obvious that they nest in the Aleutian Islands, and so usually they're along the west coast for wintertime. Here in Michigan, because the nesting is way up at the Arctic Circle, like way up in the Arctic Circle, and they migrate, they usually are in the plains, so like Nebraska south, in the wintertime, and actually just south of Nebraska even, and Kansas and south. And that's where they typically winter. They're very scarce here in the Great Lakes in this lower part of Michigan, and but you do occasionally see them. And so they are something to keep an eye out. You might see some. The Taverners is the largest of the species, but Richardson's is the more common. So Richardson's is probably the one you're going to see in this area. And so if you're out and about, So that brings up a good point. There are lots of even some of the more common waterfowl that you see, migrating or overwintering here, but they're still fun to see in the wintertime because you usually don't see them during breeding season in the summer. Lots of sightings on Gull Lake. So if you have a chance you want to go out and bird and you got a fairly decent day, and it doesn't have to be sunny out. Actually, it's better sometimes to not have sun and just have clouds, but you need a good pair of binoculars. But it's nice not having fog or anything too. Or lots of snow coming down, or wind whipping in your face. So it's nice to have that, maybe a spotting scope or so, and go out and see. But get by some of those bodies of water, you can usually see lots of different waterfowl this time of year. So I mentioned lots of events coming up. We've got tonight at from 9 to 11, the Kalamazoo Astronomical Society has their online viewing session, and you need to register for that via Zoom. Their cloud date is next Saturday, but I looked at the weather forecast. It looks like it's going to be totally clear where their telescope is down in Arizona. So going to be a nice night to do that. And then neat thing is when you get linked and you get to actually do that live via Zoom, you get photos sent to you afterwards. So they take photos, and so you get some neat things. And they actually have several people talking to you about what you're looking at. So neat educational thing to do.
Okay.
If you want to learn more about astronomy, starting next Saturday, the Kalamazoo Astronomical Society is starting a 5-part series, and they've done this before, Introduction to Amateur Astronomy. And it's via Zoom Saturday afternoons. It's free. You just got to register ahead of time. Kalamazoo Area Wild Wines, Pints, and Native Plants is next Thursday at Brewery Outre. Next Saturday, Waddell's first Green Thumb classes start. So lots of activities to do. Next Saturday, there's actually a neat Greens of Winter walk at the Nature Center. So check that website out. And the Kalamazoo Audubon Society of Kalamazoo, next Saturday evening from 5 to 8, they are doing a field trip, Let's Go Owling. So they've got information on their website. They're going to the Allegan State Game Area, and they're hoping to hear at least screech, barred, and great horned owls, maybe even see them. So find out that. It's a neat way to get out and about and maybe hear some birds if you even just can't see them.
Yeah, and there you go. Let me see. We're about 2 months and change away from talking about gardening, too. Okay, just wanted to say that.
Yeah, Andy's still hibernating, at least from radio-wise.
Radio-wise, he's still hibernating.
He's still out and about, though. I saw him this week.
You know where he is otherwise, I'm just saying. Gary, are you working today?
No, actually, I'm still in the R&R, so just...
Okay.
A couple of months off here, not doing a whole lot, and so which is nice if we have really nasty weather. I don't have to drive in it. So.
Well, there you go. All right, Gary Miller. Thank you.
Look out the window and watch the birds feed, which I had to get my next batch of bird seed this week. Yeah. They're still eating that 90-plus pounds a month. So
you may need a bank loan for that. Thank you, and thank you for listening to this edition of Nature Watch. Tune in each Saturday morning at 8:30 for Nature Watch. Brought to you by Waddell's Nursery, Floral, Garden, and Bird Center at the corner of 12th Street and Millam Road. CBS and local news and America Outdoors next on WKZO.